This video, I'm going to be sharing with you the power of paradox and showing you how this can be a powerful hack for totally changing your reality. I'm going to show you exactly how to use it and how it's transformed my own life. Welcome back to another video. My name is Aaron and I help people expand their consciousness. Now in this video, I'm going to be sharing with you that of the power of paradox and how you can use paradox in your own life to understand first off the truth about reality itself. Because when you realize that reality is a dream that you are currently living, that you can influence through your own beliefs and through having these kind of realizations, it changes everything, because your model for your reality, the way you see reality, is what is controlling your life. The story you tell yourself about how reality works is controlling your life situation. And when you understand that, then you say to yourself, well, how can I understand more about my story, the story I'm telling myself, to then let go of that story to tell myself a new one. And you may have a story that you tell yourself about reality, that reality is fixed, reality is hard, this is how reality is, and that alone will keep you within a certain victim mentality and will keep things happening to you rather than things happening for you. So first off, just to give some context, I felt like doing a deep video today because I am in Japan right now. I'm in Tokyo. I like to say Tokyo like that. Everywhere I go, I'm like, Tokyo. So let me show you guys Tokyo. I'm gonna show you around real quick. You'll see I'm in this serene, beautiful, serene park. By the way, just so y'all know, I come to Tokyo, and when I come to Tokyo, I have to be very careful with how loud I talk, because I talk so loud, so when I'm in public, like when you go to the subways here, here's something that's kind of crazy. When you go to the subway here, and you go in, nobody talks. So it's like if you talk, they look at you funny. And I'm like, why is this like a library, you know? But that's culture, and I like to respect culture. So now that I'm at a park, I'm letting it all out. That's a paradox. What is it a paradox for? We'll get further into the video, but right now I just want to let you know I'm in Tokyo. And in Tokyo, it's really cool. I'm here for one more day, then I go to Maui. And I'm excited for that because it's kind of cold here, and I like it here, but Maui, it would be nice to switch up. Anyways, back into the video. So I was listening to Bashar earlier. You guys don't know Bashar, he's my homie. Bashar was talking about the power of paradox, and it got me really thinking of paradox in general, because there's certain things I've been saying that has been very powerful in my own life, and things that I learned from Bashar back in the day especially. One of them is let's first off understand what a paradox is. A paradox is something that can be true from one point of view and another point of view, and the power is in the middle of that paradox. The power is also an understanding that in reality itself, everything is fundamentally neutral. There is no built-in meaning other than the meaning we give things. Now the thing is we may give certain things meaning, and then those things will be on autopilot for years and years and years. Just like we think the same thoughts every day, we feel the same emotions every day, we do the same things every day, therefore we get the same things over and over and over again. Well, could it be that our model or the way we see the world has been on autopilot because of the story we tell ourselves? And could it be that we tell ourselves a new story and then our reality changes? Because that's what reality is. Reality is a mirror. It has given us a mirror reflection. And when we change what we are projecting out onto that mirror, we get a change in reality. But the way most people go about life is they try to change the mirror itself. And that's why what I'm going to be sharing with you about paradox today can show you and break apart this built-in meaning that you've been giving your life for maybe as long as you've been alive, at least unconsciously. Because the truth is there is no built-in meaning other than the meaning you give things. And the only way that'll be built in is if you keep on doing it over and over and over again. And then it's just that the path of least resistance is that autopilot mind. So let's talk about some paradoxes. Alright, these paradoxes I think can change the way you see your reality just by simply hearing them and just by simply knowing them. Start off with the paradox of control. This is something I've been dealing with because I've become successful on YouTube, which has allowed me to come to Tokyo. I just wanted to say Tokyo. But I've been successful on YouTube from having a certain level of control. A level of control over my daily routine, a level of control over my actions, a level of control over my diet so that I have the energy to do what I do. And that level of control has gotten me to a certain point. And I justify things with saying, oh, well, my discipline has gotten me where I am, which at a certain level, it is part of it. But something that I've been dealing with is actually letting go of control. But the truth is, with this paradox I'm starting to see, you are never actually out of control, and you can't be out of control. Because you realize that the only way you can be out of control is within your own definitions. The idea of surrender is that you surrender to the control that you have always had from a certain perspective. You could say this is your higher self. So when you believe you don't have control, it is something that is just being emphasized. You are creating the illusion that you don't have control from having that definition about how reality works inherently. So you're never really out of control. Surrender is surrendering to the control that you have always had. Because it depends on the perspective. You can look at this from the perspective of the ego or the perspective of the higher self. And this works in the same way for abundance. You never actually lack anything. You are always abundant in something. And think of it like these are two dualistic things. You think of it as control, not control. Even when you believe you don't have control, you are controlling that experience. This is the paradox. When you believe that you don't have control, so you have control and not control, you are creating the illusion and controlling the experience that you don't have control. Which is why when you surrender to the control you've already had. Let's look at this from the point of view of abundance. Abundance and lack. There really is no such thing as lack. There is just an abundance of anything you focus on. So if you experience lack, it's not really lack, it's an abundance of lack. It's an abundance of that scarcity mindset. So when you start to see things from that point of view, you see that you are creating that experience of lack from an abundance of that lack. You get abundance based on whatever you think of, you get more of in your life. So in actuality, there is only abundance. And this is how reality works. Is we are choosing the level of experiences we have. And if we're creating an experience of not being in control, we are controlling that experience through our definition, through our identification. Look at it like this. When you talk about that of trust, not trust. If you believe that you don't have trust, you are actually trusting in an ideology that proves to you you don't have trust. So that is the idea. You have to trust in something for you to have an experience at all. You may be trusting that you don't have trust. You may be trusting that you're not confident. You may be trusting in a disempowered idea, but you're 100% trusting in it. You have to trust in something for you to have a physical experience anyways. So it works like this for abundance. It works like this for trust. It looks like this for confidence. It works like this for control. These are all paradoxes. So let's look at it again. You never actually lack anything. You have a 100% belief in lack, which is actually an abundance of lack. You never actually really have a loss of control. You are controlling the experience to appear, to have the illusion and appear that you don't have control, but you are controlling that. When you talk about confidence, it's the same thing. You could have confidence and not confidence. You have to be confident in something for you to be having an experience. You may be confident that you don't have confidence. You may be confident that you don't have a powerful self-image, but you are still confident in that ideology. So the power of this is knowing that it's in your definitions as to where the power is. Do you have a definition of yourself of being confident? Or are you creating the illusion, and are you trusting in an ideology that doesn't serve you, that says you're not confident? Do you have a belief or a trust in abundance and believing that you are scarcity mindset? Do you have a abundance of lack? Are you controlling the experience to feel like you don't have control? which is why the key to this is surrender. All of these things I'm sharing with you as well, here's the paradox as well, all of these things on this side of the fence of abundance, of confidence, of control, you already have. It is only you holding yourself away from them of where the paradox is, because you are creating the illusion that you don't have control, you are creating the illusion that you don't have the abundance, you are creating the illusion that you don't trust, you are creating the illusion that you aren't confident to create the experience of that, but you are using all of these things in order to do so. Abundance, that of trust, that of confidence, that of control. You have all of those naturally. Your definitions will separate you from them. The illusion of separation. The understanding is that if you are experiencing a lack of any of these things, you are actually experiencing it through your definitions themselves. And you are creating the illusion that you don't have the abundance, that you don't have the confidence, that you don't have the trust by using these things themselves. Because you are getting an abundance of lack. You are confident that you're not confident. You are trusting in an ideology that says you don't trust. You are controlling the situation to believe that you don't have control. That is the power of paradox. Because in reality, everything is about the neutral point of power and knowing that reality has no inherent meaning other than the meaning we give it. So you see, this is a consciousness shift. And I'm giving it to you in Tokyo. See what I mean? Tokyo. Right now I'm in Tokyo. Showing you that the paradox is you give life meaning. You already have abundance, you already have trust, you already have the level of control that you want that you can surrender to, and you already have that confidence. The only reason you experience a lack of any of those things is because you're using these things themselves to emphasize the lack. You are controlling the experience to believe you don't have control. You are having an abundance of lack, which you are using an abundance to experience, because whatever you focus on grows. You are trusting in an ideology that doesn't serve you, that says you don't have that trust. And you are experiencing any of those negative things because of those power, the power here, using it to create the illusion that you don't have the power. That is the power of paradox. So with that realization, the idea is, ball is now in your court. What do you prefer to experience? What do you prefer to believe about this? What do you prefer to keep giving your power over to? Maybe you say, I have a belief that I don't trust. Well, you're using something to trust in for you to have that kind of experience. You may say, well, I'm not confident. Well, you're confident that you're not confident. You may say, well, I have a lot of lack. Well, you are abundant in lack. That is the power of paradox. It's the neutral point of understanding the truth. You have all of these things. If you experience the lack of them, it's because you're using them to create that experience. And a lot of it could be social conditioning. It could have been beliefs that you gained from parents or from people growing up. But take your power back and understand that you're using these things to create the illusion that you don't have them, when in actuality, the whole entire time, you do have them. That's where the power is. So, I'm sharing all these with you right now because I want you to take your power back. That's all I want. Just take your power back and understand that you have the power to begin with. Power of paradox. That's where the power really is. So, I'm going to go ahead and get back on my run. I got about 2 miles to go back. I just kind of ran and found this place. Hope you enjoyed the B-roll throughout this whole entire thing. And also, if you want a free meditation, I help you to raise your vibration, to have more of these higher vibrational realizations. You can raise your vibration with the free meditations in the top of the description box below. Also, I have that on Instagram. I'll be doing live Q&As. I'll be vlogging me in Tokyo. So if you want to experience and see that, you can see my Instagram right here. Other than that, I hope you enjoyed this video. Feel free to like this video if you liked it. Subscribe if you haven't already. Hit the notification gear so you can see the daily vids that I do. And other than that, as always, peace, much love, and namaste.